Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We are finally there. It's race weekend. All the hard work and training is done. There is nothing more we can do now to affect the time that we achieve tomorrow, other than possibly eating and drinking in the right way in the next 24 hours. But as I've said in the past a couple of times and mentioned on race days, for me, racing isn't just about the performance in the race, the running. It's about feeling as good as I can do. So we are just off down to my hairdressers to get a fresh trim back and sides so that we're looking sharp tomorrow, ready for racing. We will walk you through in a little while a full kit review with all the gear that's going up there. We will be leaving in a couple of hours to drive up to Manchester. We're stopping just outside Manchester tonight, so we've got a nice little hotel booked, a village hotel booked just outside of Manchester. We'll head out with a group of the couples that are up for the race and grab an Italian or something tonight, and then we will drop in and do a race day vlog leading in tomorrow. Still undecided yet as to whether I am going to take the camera around with me in the race, given that I want to try my damnedest to get as close to 2:10 as I can, or ideally sub 2:10. I may just rely on Emma and the other girlfriends around the course, and then the lads at the end as I'm coming into the finish to get some on-course video footage. But we'll give you a full before and after vlog as to where we are, how we're feeling, etc, etc. So stick with us and we will take you through the whole of my race weekend. See you later, guys. Morning guys, it is 7:20. We have managed to get a bit of breakfast down in the hotel. We are just on our way over to Old Trafford, where we've got parking booked, and then we've got about a half-a-mile walk across to the event village. So we've got Jim and Russ are coming from home and are on their way about 15 minutes away. Jacob's just behind me in the car, so we will all be around the car park and start of event village for a similar time. So we'll do a couple of videos just around the event village, let you know what the atmosphere is like, etc. We have made the decision we're not going to take the phone on course with us, or take the camera, sorry, on course with us, with gels and drinks and everything else. I just don't want the aggro of having to mess about. So we are going to just rely on Emma and Jenny, and then race photography to get some footage whilst we're out there. So but once we get back in, we'll pick back up. We'll do another video on the event village, the end of the race, etc. So for now, we will see you in the event village in a bit. Hi guys, so we are down at the athletes holding area just before going down to start pens. Jake's already gone, he was running late typically. We've got Russ and Eddie and Shorty have just gone down now, so they are in the wave just in front of me. So we'll be leading down shortly to start pen, at which point we'll start to get properly warmed up, and we'll drop back in as we go over the start line. But as I say, we're not going to video on course. We'll pick you up when we get to the other end. We've got on course photography, and we've got Emma, who's going to be around about 5:10, and then finish line hopefully. So we'll see you at the end.
The Ocean Walk Mars, there's 150 quarterlies. If you're right, I know what I'll do. I'll go in the bus.
further than that mat, feet behind the mat, and we'll get you underway. Good luck to you all today. Good to see you all here. Rob Cleveland, well done Rob. Good luck to you. Well done Becky from Red Rose as well, and to Kirsty N. Right then, we're into the last 10 seconds to go. The gun will go in the air, and I'll do a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have some hands in the air, people. Come on. Photographers here, hands in the air. Let's see those hands. Good luck, everyone. Have fun and enjoy. That's what it's all about. Oh, Alex and Helen, you are beauties.
Go on, Ross! Come on, well done!
Well, let's just do some of this because £1 of all of your entries today will go to the Trafford Active Fund, helping projects in the local community and getting residents more active than often. And you can find out more about the great work that they're doing at the Trafford Active Fund. Links on our website. And of course, this is the Manchester Half 2022 Heroes Edition. This year, the Manchester Half Heroes Edition, we're championing all things heroic, and all of these heroes coming across the line, especially those in fancy dress like these two bees. Well done, girls, looking amazing. You are winners.
And just like that, guys, the race is over. Was the training plan complete? We are now on Tuesday, so we've had a couple of days to sit and reflect on the race, how it went, look at where we could improve, etc, etc, and also have a look at how we're feeling after the race. So I guess first things first, let's look at the race itself. Goal A was 9:10 or under, sorry. Goal A was 2:10 or under. Goal B was 2:15 or under, and goal C was 2:20 or under. All of which would have been PBs, and all of which I'd have been delighted with, if truth be told. No doubt about it. Second half marathon. We followed a good training plan that was set out by Sam for me, and I've seen the progress in my own ability, just in the training plan alone. So we'd have been happy no matter what, just completing, getting round, PB, brilliant. I sort of told myself that I couldn't continue on sub 9 55-minute miles for a full 13 miles, and I was right. In reality, I probably should have headed out at about 10:15s and sat myself to do even splits across the entire race. As it transpired, I went out just ahead of the 2:15 pacers, who seemed to be running very quick. I mean, half a mile in, I think we were at about 8:30. So I sat back, I eased off a little bit. So we'll run through the splits and tell you how the race went from that perspective. Mile 1, 9:54. Mile 2, 10:05. And then miles 3, 4 and 5, we sat at 9:43. Mile 6 was 9:45. Mile 7, 9:52. Mile 8, 9:52. So we'd got a little bit in the bank. The target was 9:54s would get me under sub 2:10. So all the way up to completing mile 8, we'd got a little bit of a bumper on there. Mile 9, we just slipped out a little bit, went to 10:05, but again, we've slipped what, as I look at it here, we've slipped 6, we've slipped about 10 seconds. So the extra time we'd got, we were probably still 25-30 seconds at this point ahead of sub 2:10 pace. Then mile 10, we ran a 10:17, slight incline, but nothing too major. Heart rate, a bit of a spike during that point. And then we got into the money end of the race. Let's be honest. It's the end where fatigue's kicking in. It's the time where we tried to work under duress for the interval training and everything else. And it's the bit where sub 2:10 got away from me. We'd had a 10:17 mile 10, 10:31 mile 11, and at that point I was telling myself, sit off mile 12, try and run about an 11:30, and then kick down and try and get back into the 9s for mile 13. So we did just that in mile 12. We ran an 11:34. We got into mile 13, where I was looking to try and kick forward and really build the pace back up again for that last mile. And that was where I was just burnt. We were almost dead on our feet by that stage, and we came in with a 12:18. So massively proud and happy that I got sub 2:15. 27 seconds to spare on sub 2:15 on Strava. The race was a little bit long, according to my Strava at least. So the race measured slightly wrong and came in just under 13.3 miles. So we've got to 15:39, I think it was, the chip time. But looking at my Strava and the half marathon on my Strava, 2:14:33. So, you know, massively happy with a sub 2:15. Would have loved to have been able to keep up that pace in miles 10, 11, 12 and 13, or even 11, 12 and 13. But it wasn't to be on this occasion. I think 16-minute PB would have been a massive thing anyway. But we've hit a huge 11-minute PB. So as you'll see from one of the photos, we capped the race off in a nice pub, some pizza and a few pints. We then sit back yesterday and today with a little bit of reflection. Aching, stiff yesterday. My muscles were all stiff. So where do we go from here? Firstly, there's a little bit of, not disappointment, but there's a little bit of emptiness, I guess, for want of a better phrase, because we're now in a position where there's no race to train for. There's no, well, there is, but it's in April next year. We're going to try and do Barcelona half at the end of, on the 19th of February. But there's nothing right now in the diary that we're physically pushing ourselves to go out and train for day to day. So there's a little bit of something's missing, because we've not got that reason to go out and push ourselves and train. I'd always said this week I was going to try and stay off my feet and not really go out for a run anyway. I might have a little shake out maybe tomorrow just to move the legs a little bit. But group chat I'm in with some of the fast boys yesterday. There's talks of Derby 10 mile in the end of October, 20th of October. So I think that's going to be what I'll sign up for next. Also looking at my Strava on Sunday's race, I ran 10k, 15k, 10 mile, half marathon, all PBs. So whilst we're only looking at the half marathon one, I am now intrigued to go out and see what I can do on a 10k. So we'll look at a 10k at some point in the next 2 to 3 months as well, and just go and try and kick on for a 10k. So where does it leave me now? We are happy with the ability to run at that 950 to 955 pace over probably up to 10 miles. So we've got a bit to work on now on that fatigue element, the 2 miles and beyond, and being able to maintain the power and the strength. I think it's evident we probably need to do a little bit more time in the gym as well, strengthen and condition the legs, and also my core, because I felt my abs were tight. Even though running, it's your legs that's the main point of it. My abs were tight, my arms were aching a little bit, so we need to get some full core, back, legs conditioning in the gym. We'll move forward and we will get some more races booked in. We'll speak to Sam about what the marathon training plan is going to look like and when that needs to start. I'm looking at probably 18 to 20 weeks, I would think, there or thereabouts. But over the course of the next few weeks, 4, 6, 8 weeks, I think one of the things that I'm going to have to do to try and get me into that marathon sort of position or marathon training position, is get out on some more long runs, get above the 2-hour mark, get above the 10-mile mark, start building up that strength at fatigue after that point. So, as I say, over the moon with the way that the race went. Fueling strategy went to plan, really went to plan. I was taking gel on after every water station. I also took some salt chews out with me in order to try and stop me cramping up, which I'd done in the previous half marathon I did, and they were working as well. So it is purely just that fatigue element beyond 10 miles, which I need to work on for the next half I do. We might pick up a half before Christmas, maybe go out and push another half before Christmas, not treat it as a race, but just as an easy long run. Just get used to that running in pace groups with lots of people around. So yeah, we have, as you can see, the vest with the medal hanging behind me. I think I'm going to send that away and get it put into a frame with the vest, my race number and my medal. So we went into the race on Sunday morning, weighing in at just over 110 kilograms. So from where we were on the 1st of January this year, it's a 15 kilogram shift. We've shifted about 4.5 kilograms in the last 5 or 6 weeks of that training plan. So again, I bought the vest about a month ago and it was ever so slightly big. I ran in it on Sunday, and it was massive on me. So really pleased and positive movement forward there with the weight, the size and everything else. So trainers were brilliant. The kit, whilst I did look like the Tango man, there's no doubt about it. I love the kit, the shorts, etc. So yeah, so that is that done. I will drop my splits onto the screen so that everybody can have a look at the splits and see where the positives were. But for now, we are at the end of the road to Manchester, half at least. The road to Manchester full will start probably in a couple of months' time. We'll drop some vlogs in between now and then with just weekly training and what we're gearing up to, what we're building in towards Manchester. We'll drop a vlog in there with the Manchester training plan once we get to that point and the plan's done. And I will also speak to Sam. As I say, Sam's got he's on the road to Frankfurt at the moment, so he's in the middle of recording his weekly vlogs with his training plans. But as part of his channel and this channel, I'm going to speak to him and see about the possibility of getting some collabs going with us out training, him talking to me about what we're training for, the reasons we're putting certain runs into training programs, etc. So keep your eyes out. We'll try and get some of those into you. Just a massive thank you to everybody that has come along on the ride with me so far. My journey is nowhere near complete. We have a marathon in April next year, as we've already mentioned. We have lots of targets in mind to move on to after that. It's on the premise that we complete it. The key is still to try and encourage people to get out and get fit, irrelevant of whether you were on the heavy side like I was, whether you lack confidence to go out into a sporting arena. The past couple of weeks with me have been brilliant. Dropped into a WhatsApp group chat with some really quicker runners than me, guys that are sort of the closer to the 3-hour marathon mark than they are my probably 5-hour mark. And the level of encouragement that those guys throw out there is massive, and they show a real community spirit about running. One thing that probably I think is lost on the slower end, my end of the running community, is that there isn't that same level of community spirit, I don't think. So that's something I'm keen to try and drill into over coming weeks, months, etc. to see what we can do about that, how we can try and increase that, and you know, arriving at races and try and talk to people about why we don't think there's that community spirit there. So, but for now, thank you as always for subscribing. Please drop comments for anything you'd like to see in the next 4 to 6 weeks as content. And we will pick you up as we get into other training plans. We'll pick you up over the next few weeks with other vlogs about just general running, etc. And we'll see you then. Thanks as always, guys. See you soon.